We're live.
Good Baltimore morning. Thank you, Raina, for having us again. My name is Kira Wisniewski, and I have the distinct pleasure to be the host and co-organizer of Creative Mornings Baltimore. We're so excited to be coming to you live from Adorned Vintage Furniture on the ancestral land of the Piscataway people in Baltimore City. I'm so glad that you could be here with us, albeit virtually. But before we get started, I want to say out loud, Black lives still matter. We're happy to offer ASL from our friends Lauren and Anessa from HASA. Also, we're dropping into the chat right now a link to read the live captioning of our program today through Otter AI. If we're going to truly live up to our mantra of everyone is invited, we're always trying to increase our accessibility. And I know that we're collectively hitting this kind of pandemic wall. We're so grateful for you joining us this morning, whether it be on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. I also want to encourage you to hit that share button right now on whatever platform you're using. So I'll just wait a beat. For many of us, our work, our school, friendships, fitness, and even our therapy are online and has been for almost a year now. I know it's tempting to multitask right now and respond to just a few more emails in your inbox, but I'm hoping that you can spend about the next 45 minutes or so together with us uninterrupted. You deserve this. Give yourself permission to be here fully. Creative Mornings Baltimore is one of over 200 chapters around the world, and the thing that unites us is that we all believe that everyone is creative and everyone is invited. We are one of dozens of global events happening today. And I welcome you to please tag us at Baltimore_CM on your favorite social media platform. We'd love to see how this looks on your end. And we know that this cannot replace the IRL event. And we also want to hear what you think of today's event. So please slide into those DMs or email us at baltimore@creativemornings.com. And engage with us and each other in the chat. And we can post some of your comments from YouTube or Facebook right here on the main feed. I don't know, Henley, if there's one that you want to pop up right now. We have Arlene and Eric and wonderful Creative Mornings volunteers joining us today. Arlene is engaging it with you on Facebook, and you'll find Eric over on Twitter. Hi, y'all. Each month, we like to ask someone special to our community to read our manifesto. April Danielle Lewis is an artist, the director of community and culture at OpenWorks, Mecca's mother, and has really been leaning into fitness during this pandemic. Please welcome April Danielle Lewis to read the Creative Mornings Manifesto.
Having me. So I'm gonna hop right in here. Everyone is creative. A creative life requires bravery and action, honesty and hard work. We are here to support you, celebrate you, and encourage you to make things you love. We believe in the power of community. We believe in giving a damn. We believe in face-to-face connections and learning from others in hugs and high fives. We bring together people who are driven by passion and purpose, confident that they will inspire one another and inspire change in neighborhoods and cities across the world. Everyone is welcome.
Thank you, April. Creative Mornings is run on an engine of generosity made possible by volunteers and fueled by companies that believe in community, people and companies that give a damn. Creative Mornings Baltimore is 100% volunteer run, so shout out to today's dream team of Mario, Winston, Henley, Sean, Sabina, Anita, Arlene, and Eric. This is also where there'll be slides with the logos of our beloved partners, but we're going to analog. And we have some signs for you, courtesy of one of our sustaining partners, Alpha Graphics. I've said this many times before, but on a very personal level, one of the greatest things about working with Creative Mornings Baltimore is that we get to work with some of our favorite local companies. So we're dropping into the chat right now links to all of our wonderful sustaining partners. Here's one of them, Alpha Graphics. Y'all. We got this. Can you pause that? Thank you. We're doing great right now. All right, local color flowers. You're gonna see some beautiful arrangements in the main shot in just a second. Impact Hub Baltimore. Maryland Art Place, Pixelated Photo Booth, White Tea Company, Hasa, and Adorn, where we are right now. Hey, hey, hey. We also want to shout out our global sponsors sponsoring all 200 plus Creative Mornings chapters. So thanks to MailChimp, Basecamp, and Skillshare. Yeah, woo, yeah. We got through that part together, y'all. We purposely don't ask for donations every month, but now is a time where we need to call on your generosity. To just be straight up and real, we need $779.40 to fully fund our partnership with Hasa and have ASL at all of our events for the rest of 2021. So if you can throw us $5, $25, $100, that would all help us towards our goal. Because if we're going to truly live up to our mantra of everyone's creative and everyone's invited, we need to do our part to make our events as accessible as possible. So please donate if you can. There should be links on the screen and in the chat. So, to the main event. Our Valencia chapter chose this month's exploration of Divergent. Nuria Tamarat illustrated it, and it's presented globally by Basecamp and Hey. And now, for why we've all gathered here today, the Hot Sauce Artist Collective is an artist-run organization. The mission is to give opportunities to emerging and established artists by showing their artwork in untraditional gallery spaces. They bring the gallery environments to parking lots, city parks, trails, and whatnot, so artist community can be together in a positive and inspiring environment. Creative Mornings Baltimore, please help me welcome the Hot Sauce Artist Collective to the virtually hybrid stage.
Awesome. Wow. Thank you guys so much. It is so great to be here at Creative Mornings. Thank you so much, Kira. Thank you so much, Mario and Creative Mornings team for having us. It's truly a pleasure. And we are Hot Sauce Artist Collective.
Yes, this house.
Yeah. We are a group of artists who started about 2018, 2019, and we had this common interest of printmaking. And we started just making art together and hanging out together. And as a group, we had a desire to continue working and continue creating. And during the pandemic, when galleries, institutions were closed and, everyone went virtual and, we had this crazy idea to build walls, but in a good way, in a good way, you guys. We weren't trying to separate and, get away from people, but rather bring people back together during especially a very difficult time because of COVID-19. It brought about a lot of changes and challenges for everyone. A lot of people were indoors, people lost their jobs, businesses were closed. And for us, that meant galleries were closed too.
Right.
And we love being in the gallery space. We love being in the museums. We love seeing works of art. And as artists, we just miss that. So,
and it came almost like a dream, right? James had that dream.
Right. I woke up one day and I had this random dream, and it was walls and plants and art. And so I called everyone I knew. I called Aaron Fosto, Thomas, James, and Kirk. And I was like, hey, I have this crazy idea. Can I make this happen? And then I just kept telling Kayla and Italo and Alex, like, hey, we got to do this thing. We got to bring art to the people, And at first, it was just a crazy idea. And then, just having people like Italo and Kayla and Alex on board to just make my dream come through, our dream come through, because it became our dream together.
And we were still understand ourselves too as Hot Sauce to some point.
Right.
So everything happened very naturally.
Right.
We're coming together as a group of artists trying to show together. And then James came with the idea. I'm like, and we all had also this interest of coordinate projects and create opportunities to not just be, looking for opportunities. And then it worked well, right?
Yeah.
It was a little on top of the.
It worked very well. At first, it was very stressful because everyone, like the people we reached out to were like, we don't know if this is going to work. So we reached out to BOPA. We reached out to our friends at BOPA. And they were very supportive, but in reality, they're like, we don't know if this is going to work. You guys only have 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We didn't know too.
We didn't know
either. So I literally, I was like, you know what? I'm going to pay for everything. I pay for everything on my credit card. And, all of this stuff that we've been doing, with like the pop-up shows.
Yeah.
Everything we've been paying out of our pocket. We're not getting paid. It's all about bringing art to the people.
Yeah.
And
it's just the idea of just bringing, artwork in an untraditional space, in an untraditional way, diverging from your normal elements of gallery and artwork and walls. We want to put walls in communities. We'll put walls in places where people can see the work. Because for a while, it was just like, no one can see it. Let's bring the work to them.
Right.
Just because things are closed doesn't mean people can still be away from art.
Right.
And, taking away from that original approach of the gallery space, we had to think creatively also, adding plants in there and adding different elements. And one of the artists that we first had, Will Watson, he did an amazing job of just creating that space in the very beginning. He saw the space as a space to be creative. And I think that's what was missing, right? Missing the fun out of being in the gallery, missing the fun of artwork and as a whole.
Right. And even before we started the pop-up show, I always used to say art used to be fun.
Yeah.
Now when you go to galleries or museums, it's just everyone is just in their little space and everyone is so quiet. But having interaction with people, just learning about people and learning about the spaces you're in, just creating that nomadic feel when we take the art to the people is always amazing. Because when we were on Pennsylvania Avenue for October, we had homeless people helping us to set up the walls, and homeless people just telling us and appreciating us, like, hey man, just keep coming back, make sure you're coming back. So it was amazing just getting that feedback often.
And see like different groups of people coming to a gallery space, but outdoors, and that was really rewarding. That's when we were like started to understand better also like what we were doing, and how important that kind of setup was to the space we were bringing in. And we still investigating this kind of interaction and really trying to enhance that idea of expanding in this nomadic feel of gallery artwork, and we have plans for this year. We're trying to we're working to put this residency together where we bring artists from other parts of the world. And this year we're bringing artists from Brazil, Keila Serruia and Robert Coelho. We have been working with them and not only trying to exhibit their work here in Baltimore, but also trying to bring them in within a educational program too, so they can do some workshop with people, with community in Baltimore. And we will be partnering with Green Mountain West Community Center too. We have been talking to them, and they have been super supportive, giving us the facilities to do these workshops and walls inside of their center to do a mural, a web-based mural to really formalize that kind of interaction. And as well as bring artists from Baltimore, like Brad Ziegler, Kurt Yulee, and Symphony Brown, to interact with these artists from Brazil. And because personally, when I came to the U.S., I'm from Brazil, and I had that understanding, that perspective of a different culture, a different environment, and different history. Even though Brazil and U.S. have a very similar history, there are like really different understandings of it and ways to that people are working with history here. And I think it's so important to actually have the experience to be with the people from different countries and learn with each other how they're talking about the work, how they're articulating about the work. So we want to bring this nomadic idea not only for Baltimore but other states, other countries, because we believe that Hot Sauce can do that, and it's important for Baltimore and other space to have that interaction.
And we also believe Baltimore has a rich culture. Having other people come into Baltimore to experience what we've experienced moving here in Baltimore. A lot of times Baltimore get negative press, but living here for the last 5-6 years now, and I can say Baltimore is one of the most beautiful places. The people are honest. Everyone is pretty much genuine, and that also helps the Hot Sauce culture, because we're not competing. At least everyone we've interacted with, has been here supporting us, in ways that help us to get to where we are. Like, for example, Michael from Current Space actually showed us how to build the walls that we needed to create for the pop-up show. So, you know, when people reach out to me like, hey, how did you guys get funding, or how did you guys get the ideas for stuff, I'm always open to talk to people and help people walk them through steps to get their ideas done, because we're not competing. We're not a institution. We don't have interest for ourselves. We're all about, you know, making space available for artists to show their work and art to be experienced everywhere here in Baltimore and beyond.
Yeah, like the whole purpose was to continue to support local artists and emerging artists in the city. And I think that's what our heart was for in the very beginning, and it still is. It was a community effort. We saw that the work that we were doing not only, you know, impacted them, but also encouraged us to know that people are out there supporting us. People are out there interested in what we're doing. And we really just want to see everyone win. We had this idea that by bringing everyone together in the community of Baltimore, or, you know, all the art people that we knew at the time, and then our space is growing, right? We're learning and we know more people now, and everything in the community is just growing. I think having that community aspect is really keeps us going. Yeah. And even during like October, when we did our last exhibition, it really was to see the community of Pennsylvania Avenue come out in such a way and support, and saying to us like, you know, this is what we need. Art heals, and we haven't seen this in a very long time. And we want to continue this. We want to see this come back. Make sure you come back, you know? And it just was super encouraging, because we have this in us to be community. We came together as a community, right? We came from all different walks of life, and we decided to come together because we had one passion and one desire, and that was to create art and also to share that. So it really is a great place.
Yeah, bring the accessibility, I think, is really important.
Yes,
and,
accessibility.
And you know, shared happiness is happiness multiplied. So that's what we're for, right? Like you know, we trying to add, not like compete and take, and have fun. You know, it's like this. It's being formal. It's be you know, one thing that I loved about what we were doing is to break that stiffness of gallery. You know how galleries work, and I'm very grateful for all the galleries that have supported us. But at the same time, it was fun to like, you know, bring the walls to the space, put the walls together, discuss where the walls go, and then we appreciate so much the artists that came that jumped in the idea, because they were getting with us like they said, oh, how much work should I bring? And we're like, bring more than you think it will be enough, because we're gonna be figuring out things on the spot. And it was much more. It was like a really organic, and also like we learned so much.
We learned so much.
Even the name Hot Sauce, you know, it was one of those things where it was just like, we don't want to be stiff, you know. We had a traditional art
a very stiff name.
Yeah, like Italo came up with this name.
Thread That Binds. That was mine. We're all poetic, and James was like, and then like, nobody answered, no text, right? I was like, nobody liked it. I guess.
Back, I was like, no, we're a Hot Sauce, and they're upset. Yeah.
And we were.
He forced that name.
I forced it. And I did a press at Baltimore City Hall when I did a group show at Baltimore City Hall, and we did a press. And I was just like, hey, here's my friends, and we're Hot Sauce Artist Collective, and it stuck. So,
and that was like the day after he gave the name to us. I'm like, yeah, I guess that's what we're doing for.
It was interesting.
Yeah, we're all about having fun and just enjoying each other, enjoying art, enjoying everyone that we've worked with. You know, a lot of artists. One of the first artists that really believed in us was Will Watson. You know, I called him and I was like, hey man, I have this idea and I just want to showcase my friends. And he was like, just tell me when and where, I'll be there. You know, everyone else was like, hey, I don't know this, I don't trust this, you know, but Will was just like, man, you know what? Just tell me how many pieces I need, I will show up. So I'm very grateful. We're very grateful to Will, because, you know, Will was able to show everyone that this was something else possible, you know, and we want to continue to just keep building as a family, you know, building with Baltimore. And, you know, I say this all the time. A lot of art movement, it took a bunch of crazy people, a bunch of crazy friends to share that idea and share that art with their community. And, you know, it took that community to believe in them. And that's how a lot of art movements started. So, you know, Baltimore is believing in us. So you know, we have something going on, and we just want to keep sharing our love and our hot sauceness.
Yes.
With
Yeah, we
everyone,
got the moves here.
Yeah.
yeah.
So thank you guys so much.
Thank
We
you.
so appreciate us being
Appreciate
able
the
to
support.
explore this. Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate it.
So now it's time for Q&A. If you type your questions into the chat or whatever platform you're using, I'll be able to highlight some of these questions for Italo, Kayla, and Alpha, and we can engage with them there. So when folks are thinking about questions, I'll start. And so my first question to you all is, how do you all meet initially?
Good question, James. How
Can
did
I
we meet?
elaborate that?
Okay, so I guess I was the middleman. Italo, myself, and Alex went to Towson, and we all did printmaking. And then Kayla and I did 2 years at PG Community College, and Kayla and I met there, and we had similar interests in like roller skating, you know, going to DC and just doing random stuff. So yeah, so that's how we met. And I had everyone just come to my apartment in college, and we would eat Stokos and
play
Uno
Uno.
and play
Play
Uno
Uno.
all
Yes,
day, every
all
day.
day.
That's how we met.
Yeah.
So we have a question from Katie, who's watching on YouTube, and she asks, what does the future of hot sauce look like for y'all?
Would you want to answer? I can answer that. We really want to go international. So because Italo's from Brazil, you know, he's having thoughts of going back home. We're really thinking of having that continue to branch off, where he's not just leaving and hot sauce is over, but no, we can have a branch over in Brazil. He can continue the idea and aspirations over there. And then James also has the idea of going to London. So continuing that in spite of us not being so close and, you know, in the city together, but having that stern foundation of like, we can still continue that no matter where we go.
Yeah.
Continue to build hot sauce and grow hot sauce as a community and a foundation, no matter that.
And also, I think one thing that we have been thinking about is to establish programs throughout the years that will continually, you know, so it's not like once and done, you know, like, so we're talking about, we're doing a raffle now program, and that's something that we have, I think, like a list of like 15 artists that are really interested to work with us. And, you know, we're doing like 2 months for each artist, for 2 artists and raffling their artwork. So they generate some income, and then we generate income with them as well. And then we plan to do that for, you know, as long as we can maintain that, because it's an alternative, you know.
Yeah.
And
so, it's not easy applying for grants too. So hot sauce want to be a place where artists can, you know, be like, hey, I want to really sell this piece, but you know, I don't know who to contact. And we don't want to be like someone who's like a middleman, but just give people platform to, you know, sell their work or just create revenue. Yeah.
So Cynthia, also who's watching on YouTube, asks, how can we partner with you right now to support the vision?
Wow. Just
get in contact.
Let's
talk. Hit us up, DM us.
Follow us on Instagram. You know, contact us. We're always available. I'm always on the Instagram. You know, I'm here to chat. Yeah.
And as we get into, it's been like such a learning curve for us, because we've been doing things like it for, you know, we have been talking about things for 2 years, but we have been out there for like a year-ish almost. And so it's been like we all informal, like, and we want to have fun too, but it's so nice to find that balance of like being professional, being organized, you know, so things run smooth. So I just want to put it out there too, because, you know, if you want to partner with us, we really like striving to have like a nice flow of work and have, you know, to be things be fun, to life be fun and not be stressful. You know, like with Creative Morning here, everybody, we all laughing, you know, even during the showing the plaques and you know, the
making boats,
the partners, we making boats. So, you know, that's the vibe that we try to put into work. When we're working.
So our next question is from Ajamu, who's also watching on YouTube. What are some other outdoor or non-traditional exhibits that have inspired your work?
That's a good question, right?
That's a good question.
I mean, with art, there isn't anything new. So I can't say this was like, but I wasn't looking anywhere. This randomly came in a dream. So I don't know if I've seen anything like a gallery space outside, outdoors with plants and stuff. So yeah, I can say for my knowledge right now, this is like something, but I can be wrong,
No, and I think one thing that inspired that's out there that already that we kind of tap in some regard regarding accessibility is murals and urban art. I think that's where we come in. We tapping in that kind of accessibility of daily life of people, transients that are walking on the streets and looking at our work. Of course, it's a little bit different because we bring like this gallery kind of setting to it. But yeah, if you have any suggestions, of people that are doing that, we also out for it, communicate and also learn from them too.
Yeah, I think one place that comes to mind is just current space with that window exhibitions. Is one of those things where we started almost at the same time, but I feel like current space, Michael and Julia knows exactly what they're doing. So yeah.
And I would say for the artwork that we did during October, I really had the idea of like a festival kind of idea of like with music and food and different activities going on at the same time, and we had the gallery exhibition. So I think that was a very special way of doing it because it really reminded me of festivals we could not be a part of. We could not do during COVID. Right. Ours was very safe, you guys. It was very small. don't call the police on us. But it was very much like an experience. It wasn't just you go away and you leave and you forget about it. We really wanted people to have a true experience. I think every time I went to a festival, I always had an experience. So it was like we wanted people to walk away with the experience of our exhibition, or experience of our show, the experience of our collective as a whole.
Yeah, I think Artscape is a good example in Baltimore,
Artscape
but it's a little different.
example.
They were doing more like if they had vendors, right? And the exhibitions were more inside like the Mica buildings or the buildings, But it's a good reference too that we were thinking about.
Yeah,
to some degree.
And just to add to the idea of it being like a festival, we had the amazing Brandon Woody playing for us. He played twice. Yeah. He came and saw the show. He was like, man, I want to play here, and I was like, bro, let's make it happen. So shout out to him. Yeah.
So here's a technical question coming from Facebook. Do the global artists you bring have to speak or understand English?
Yeah, so we're working into have translators. I might be one of them, but I think that's these are details that we can work it out. It's not impediment to it. One of them speak a little bit of English. The other one, Kayla, doesn't speak too much English, but we can. I think it's worth it. Even trying. And I think it's really good to have that contact with someone that don't speak English. And work it out. Work our brains to understand them as well. That's key.
And with technologies, I feel like the barrier of not speaking English, that gap is closing so much. So, I speak a little bit of French. It might not be that much, but yeah. So yeah,
you can make it work.
So Alex is bringing not a question but a comment. Italo looking good in the red shirt.
Alex Yao? Or?
Yeah, Alex Velez says not a question but a comment. Shout out to your red shirt right now.
You're gonna make my face look like the same color as my shirt now.
So another question that is coming from JB who's watching on YouTube. What can we look forward to seeing from Hot Sauce in 2021?
So the residency is one thing that's coming up end of May. That's where we're shooting for. We raising money for that. We working renting walls, building more walls for other companies or programs that are going to happen. Yeah. So we're trying to raise that funding, and we have been in contact with the artists already since last year in October. And I appreciate all the artists that are on board with us, even with, and we have been transparent with them about we raising fundings is still,
Yeah.
you know, but at the residency end of May is going to be a beautiful 2 weeks of like workshops and then exhibitions. And then we have the raffle, right?
Yeah.
That's already rolling right now. James has a piece that he's raffling,
Yeah.
and Raquel Thompson has another piece too. And that's how we roll too. Like we put ourselves as well in what we believe, because then the other artists are like, oh, if they are putting their face there and they're like, you know, also raffling their stuff, it's because it's real, you know.
Yeah.
And then we
want to keep the pop-up shows annual. So, you know, August and October. So like Itala said, we're raising funds now. So we're not solely relying on trying to find grants, because it's really hard. A lot of artists are going through a lot right now during COVID. So trying to get grants right now is very hard. So just being very creative in ways we're raising funds so we can keep our program going and just keep artists here in Baltimore funded.
Yeah. Because we do believe in paying our artists.
Yeah.
We believe in paying our artists.
Yeah.
Even when we didn't have money for the first two events, we
still paid our
we
artists.
paid as much as we could.
We didn't get paid. We pay our artists.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So a question that I have, and if you have questions more, keep them coming in the chat and we can surface them. But I'm curious and would love to learn more about your individual practices as artists.
Who want to start? You go first, Kayla.
Okay.
Someone needs to decide. So
Right. It's a decide. Okay. So basically for me, I am focused on making portraiture of the African diaspora. So people of Black and African descent. And I normally photograph my friends, and I use my color palette is pink and blue, or I would say cyan and magenta. And I focus on the emotional side of it. So I would like to capture the emotional of their face, the expression on their face. And then the colors that I use allows me to intensify and heighten that same emotion. I really dive deeper into the emotional appeal when it comes to portraiture, and really looking into how people feel, especially the Black community, where, you know, mental health and emotional health has been, you know, not really talked about or staggered almost. I really want to confront that and face that, and really not only go through for my own personal self, my own personal journey in my work, but also for others too. So when they see my piece, they see the piece, that they can also either empathize or have compassion, or even them themselves can see that emotion that they once felt or they've seen before on another Black person's face, and they could really connect with it.
Yeah, and I am a multi-discipline artist. So I do printmaking, painting, drawing, and a little bit of sculpting. So right now I am primarily focusing on charcoal drawing. So I'm refining my charcoal drawings to look like paintings. So if you've seen my work, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I am also a portraiture, but I started off as an abstract artist. But my work is all about just exploring Black joy, because a lot of times it's just like we're always confronted by our pain, and that's the one thing every Black person inherits is pain, and it's sad because we have a lot of joy and we have a lot of beautiful things to talk about, but you cannot talk about it because there's so much pain, and that's the only thing we can talk about. So I chose to escape. So I live in La La Land. I tell myself I just want to experience the beautiful things about being Black and being African primarily. Just really enjoy the things that bring me joy. So my work is all about that joy and that beauty. And it's a little bit about my religion too, as a Christian male, because a lot of time there's a lot of stereotype, a lot of, putting you in a box as a Christian person, or, even as a Christian person, judging other people. So my work is all about exploring, what it's like experiencing my friends who are not Christian, or experiencing my friends who do not have the same belief, and, just being a beautiful person with those people too. So yeah, that's what my work is about. Yeah.
Yeah. And my work is, for me, is a practice of generating presence. So I mostly work with ink right now. And for me, it's depicting it's just like being with that photo of that moment that I took. And realistically, draw it again and just feel the presence of that moment, or the energy of that moment that I took photos. And currently I'm working on a series that assemble like landscapes and figure and people that I know and from Brazil and Baltimore. So I combine them together, and within that exploration of these photos that I'm looking, of this database of photos that I have been putting together like for almost 2 years now, it's just a lot of like different content come to it, or concepts come to me. I just did one that's about fatherhood. That I depict like a friend of mine, Terrell Brown, and his daughter. We have been hiking all together, so it's almost like I'm part of. I'm growing with him as a father and with her as a daughter. And I learn about that, and then and he's a great friend that we have been talking a lot about religion, about spirituality, about business too, and so that's that composition for me comes out that comes to me, all that kind of content, all this experience that I had with him, and for me it's a meditative practice. That's what's purely for me nowadays. I'm not even worrying like too much about showing anything. It's more like being with that peace, and every day waking up at 5 a.m. and going there and spending like 3 hours painting. It's like it's what keeps me going. It's what keeps me like juggling, like teaching, doing hot sauce stuff, doing freelance for websites, and then keeping my practice active, and doing exercise, all of that. So it's part of my routine of meditation, and be present and create presence, and not be in my mind like not being able to sleep or stuff like that.
Italo practice is crazy. This man will make one painting like 5 times just to get it right.
Yeah,
I try. It's slowly build up.
So JB is asking from YouTube, how can we donate to the collective outside of the raffle?
We have a group fund. What's the name again? GoFundMe. I forgot the name of that website,
Yeah.
but we have, and it's linked to our Instagram account in the 3 link.
Tree.
Yeah.
And also we're working on putting a donate button on our website, because we get that question a lot.
Mhm.
But we're working on it. It's just the 3 of us, and we're all Italo and myself, we're teachers, and Kayla is an art administrator. So it is a lot, but we're working on, getting stuff done. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And thank you for
Yeah,
asking
thank
that.
you.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
Appreciate that.
So a question that we have from Facebook is, what keeps you folks going?
I honestly would say God keeps me going.
Mhm.
Honestly, having my faith and knowing that I'm in this for a reason and a purpose, but also because I enjoy it. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy being in the arts. I enjoy connecting with people. I enjoy the community of the arts. And if I wasn't doing this, I don't know what in the world I'd be doing else, So it keeps me grounded and knowing like this is my passion. This is what I love, and I love the people that's in it. And that's what keeps me going. What keeps you guys going?
For me, I'm a little crazy. To be honest, I can't sleep if I don't make something. I'm up 24/7. If I'm not making something, I'm just in bed like, man, I should have painted today, or I should have drawn something. It's constantly like, make something. So that's what keeps me going. And just hot sauce is all about just being like the art scene too. Yeah, that's what really keeps me going.
Yeah, for me, it's more like I agree. Spirituality and just keep making also keeps me going. But also the question, like, why not? Keep going. Why you not? It's a matter of like, if we feel comfortable doing what we're doing, and we feel that that's the right thing for our lives. For me, that's how I see, and that's for me. That what feels right now is what God wants for us, what God wants for me, and it's living in the present and keep moving, because why not? It's almost like it's natural. You wake up and like, oh, what can I do today? And I see myself in all these kind of contexts and environments, and like it feels right. Even though there's a lot of questioning, there's a lot of like, is that right? There is questioning, but why not keep going? It's a short time that we're here on this earth, and sharing and being connected. This is like it's what humans are. that's how we should be rolling, you know,
Yeah.
inspiring each other.
And I rather do this now than, you know, to regret when I'm older. Like, man, I should have like really explored myself as a creative. I should have really figure out. So like right now, as a young person, you know, I have all the energy that I can have with coffee, but so why not just, you know, do what I love and very passionate about. Yeah.
And meet all the wonderful people.
Yes,
So
meet all
many
the
beautiful
people.
here in the city, man.
Yeah, just meet all the people.
So then, a final question, if you will. What's your favorite hot sauce?
Now it's I go with the Malagueta one just because it reminds me of home. So sometimes I go to the Brazilian gourmet store, buy some Malagueta, you know, buy some like coxinha. E eu mandar salve pra galera do Brasil aí, só pra, you know.
Yeah.
We actually had like each one of us had a sauce.
Yeah.
A
You know,
pepper.
A
I mean,
Pepper, yeah,
the
pepper
pepper
kind of
name.
sauce. But,
Yeah, what was mine? I don't remember.
hold on.
What was yours?
I think it was like ghost pepper or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were ghost pepper.
Not habanero.
No, you had like it was a different name,
I
I think.
can't think of what it is. But my favorite hot sauce is actually the Stokoe's hot sauce. I don't know what they do at Stokoe's.
Homemade.
It's like a
For life.
homemade hot sauce. It's the one on your. Is
Yeah.
the one on your road?
Lock Raven.
Like
It's the
Raven,
one
like
on
Raven.
Lock Raven. They
Sto-
have the best hot sauce.
Stokoe's is the reason we're, you know,
We're together.
Yeah,
I
this
think
should-
they
But take
should
it easy,
like
guys.
partner
They should
with us
sponsor
and
us,
sponsor
yeah.
us or something.
Stokoe's, our love for fried chicken from Stokoe's is
With the
what
hot
brought
sauce.
us together. Yes.
You have to have the hot sauce.
Yeah.
Yes.
But take it easy. It's very greasy. So go
Yeah, you don't
slow.
want too much hot sauce.
Once a
Yeah.
month, once a week.
Yeah.
Make it
Once a
special. Make
week.
it special.
I like the Stokoe's hot sauce and the Tabasco sauce from
That's a good
Chipotle.
one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you take the whole frasco.
Oh yeah, I took the whole thing. I'm like, can I get more?
You
Now
just give
there's
the container
COVID.
to him.
Now there's COVID. They give you like a time. I'm like, no, I need 2 cups. I'm sorry.
Well, thank you again. This has been so great. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Let's create a selfie moment right now. So if you're at home or your space, wherever you are, we invite you to take a photo with our wonderful speakers today. So Winston and Henley, if you could focus on them for just a moment, everyone go ahead and strike your pose, take your selfies.
No.
Oh, we're taking one in here too. So
I got that. There you go.
yes, so thank you so much again. This has been such a great morning, such a great way to start off the morning with you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to ask one more time if you can make a quick donation to Baltimore. Our main hard cost right now is ASL, so let's all do what we can to live up to our mantra that everyone is creative and everyone is invited. So Henley, if you could pop up that banner again, or Lean, if you could drop that link again. Thank you for that. Please save the date for next month's talk on Friday, March 26th, where we'll be inviting Valerie Perez-Shear, co-founder of Fluid Movement, to the virtual stage to speak on the theme of Ripple. And again, we'd love to see what this looks like on your end. So please tag us when posting to social media. And we want to close today, as we did last month, because I thought it just felt good, with just some collective intentional breathing together. So let's just take 3 deep breaths together. I invite you to close your eyes if you want. You can place your hand on your heart if that feels good, or on if you're sitting next to you. And so here we go. Let's breathe in and out. Again, in and out. And one last time, in and out. Thank you again for being here. We know that this can't replace the magic of an in-person event, but we hope that you feel connected and part of this community. We look forward to seeing you next month on March 26th with Val. Have a great morning.
Yeah.